Congratulations very much. Thank you. Hold on.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the All Things Basketball podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez, as always. Let's talk about Nikola Topić. Easily one of my favorite prospects going into his draft class. Obviously, this was a guy that was going to miss an entire season. He tore his ACL, falls to the Thunder at, the 12th pick. He was projected like top 3 for a very long time. This is a 6'6", playmaking, just pick and roll savant. And obviously, this is someone that the Thunder were like, look, we're not in any rush to get a rookie that's going to produce right away. We can take a gamble on this guy. We've got picks for the rest of our lives to basically, swing and swing and swing. So that was an interesting mini gamble, right? It's still a gamble nonetheless. You're taking someone in the lottery. You always want that person to pan out. And before I even continue, shout out to AJ Mitchell, because this is another guy that he's one of those guys that at this point, he's too good for Summer League. He's had plenty of reps in the regular season, though he wasn't a big rotational guy, but a guy with that kind of seasoning, right, of NBA games and reps, and he even played a little bit in the finals. He's supposed to be very comfortable in this environment, and he has looked every bit of comfortable, and he has been a bucket. Now, back to the reason for this entire episode. So, Topić, 6'6", the vision is very apparent. I mean, you could just see the decision making from this guy, whether it's in transition, whether it's in half court, whether he's on an extra pass where they're reversing the ball along the 3-point line, and he can attack a closeout and he can get to that rim, and he's making free throws. The only real thing with Topić has been his shooting struggles, which is something that we knew. Anyone that was following Topić pre-draft knew that this was going to be a definite area of improvement for him. This is the one place that we can kind of see issues with, right? And you're seeing it in Summer League. Now, Summer League, you can take it with a grain of salt, or you could take it as these are good examples of who he is probably going to be to start his career. Now, what you're looking at are his averages in Summer League right now. This is after 3 games, okay? So he's averaging 10.7 points. He's had 3 rebounds, 4.3 assists. He's got those 2 steals per game. The splits are really bad. The assist to turnover ratio, that is something that it definitely doesn't look good. He had an 8 turnover game. He also had a 7 turnover game. Now, when you're an elite passer, right? Someone that will take risks, someone that does a lot of no-look passing, a lot of throw-aheads that guys aren't ready for, it's going to come with turnovers, especially in a setting like Summer League where chemistry isn't exactly at an all-time high. When you hear the courtside interviews from some of those players that are playing with him in Summer League, they're all just so happy to be on the floor with him because they know he's not some guy that's just going to be chucking up shots. Just like a lot of other Summer League players, this is a very different player. Stylistically speaking, this is a guy that likes to set the table. When he beats a defender, he's looking for that extra pass. If someone is in cutting range, like near him where he can throw a lob, he's not even going to think about it. He's going to throw it. You can see in these clips just the way he maneuvers in pick and rolls. He looks a little unorthodox with the way he moves, and maybe you can attribute that to him coming off of that torn ACL, or you could attribute it to this is just how he kind of moves. And when I was watching his tape pre-draft on YouTube's, wherever I could get full game clips or even short scouting videos that you can find on Jovic, Jokic, Topić, Jesus, okay? There's just so many itches now. It's hard to keep track of the names at this point, but Nikola Topić is just displaying the playmaking ability. And if you want to have a tier list of players that are playing in pick and rolls, making things happen, Topić has to be at the top of the list, top 3 in all of Summer League right now. You can say in the entire rookie class, he's arguably the best playmaking in the pick and roll. Just off the top of my head, kind of hard to name somebody right now, but just someone that looks incredibly comfortable just knowing the reads. When he's parallel to that roll man, he is throwing that thing in between. The lobs that he's throwing are just pinpoint accurate. There are moments where he's throwing a pass and a guy's not ready, and he kind of throws it ahead thinking someone's cutting. They don't cut. Maybe he throws it out of bounds. It's little things like that, but you could see just his ability to pass the ball. Now, when we're looking at his fouls, because yes, he is fouling a decent amount. Okay, now, to be fair, this is a person that has missed a whole year of live game basketball, right? Now, this is like the first time, for some people, this is the first time they've ever seen Topić play, right? I was about to say Jokic. For some people, they're thinking, man, this guy throws the ball away a lot. He looks kind of weird. He moves kind of funny. He can't really shoot the ball. These splits are horrendous. He's shooting 29.7% from the field. He's 12.5% from three. Now, he's already taken 16 threes over the course of 3 games. So definitely a dude that is not afraid to put threes up. I mean, he goes 2 for 5 in that first game. He's 0 for 6 in the second one, and that doesn't stop him. He goes 0 for 5 in the next one. So, this is a guy that's like, look, I get a good look, I'm going to take the shot. And you see off the dribble threes, you see them kind of in transition where he's on the move, and if he's wide open, like I said, he's not hesitating. So these are all really good signs, right? You don't like to see guys that aren't great shooters shy away from shooting either. A guy like Ben Simmons, he flat out won't shoot the ball. So that is not something that we see from Topić. Topić is, I get a good look, I'm going to take it. If a pass is available, I'm going to make it. And it's that simple, quick decision making and pick and roll movement. There's a clip out there that I hope I have when I'm showing it. And he is just in this high pick and roll on the side. And he fakes like he's going to reject it. Just amazing head faking and just ball deception, right? Whatever you want to call that. Left to right, and just snakes around the pick and roll and just cashes in the floater. And it's things like that that let you know this guy is only 19. He's about to turn 20, I think, in August. He's still one of the younger players in Summer League, which is very impressive. He's younger than Derek Queen. He's younger than Cedric Coward, right? He's younger than a lot of these first round guys. So looking at it from that perspective, it's very impressive stuff. Okay, now there are people out there, because I've seen the comments just on Instagram and online on YouTube. For whatever reason, if a player just looks unorthodox with the way they move, the way they run, and they don't look super athletically gifted, I guess you could say, there's not this burst of quickness or insane leaping ability, people are turned off by those things. Me, on the other hand, I'm watching Topić. He is getting by every single defender at 5 miles per hour because of the footwork, the change of pace, the change of direction, the deception with his head up. And by the way, you don't have to be a good scorer to put defense on its heels, because they know that if teammates are cutting, he is going to make those passes. So that automatically makes the defense is he going to throw this pass right now, right? There's a play in transition where it comes right after a play where he had just thrown a lob, right? Where he's at the rim and he's throwing that lob in transition. The very next play, he comes down the floor, and mind you, it's a 2-on-1, so obviously we expect them to score on these plays. But he fakes the lob pass, and he just gets this super easy layup at the rim because of the fact that he is this pass-first guy, and he's making great passes, so the defense is constantly worried about him when he's got his head up. So when a screen is coming for him on the ball, he's watching it, and if they decide to flip it, he can make it look like he's throwing a pass. He's kind of faking a hand gesture somewhere, and then he goes the other way, and the defense is just head on a swivel. Who's cutting, who's not, right? So they're also worried, hey, if I back up too much, he is gonna take this shot, right? And in the first game, look, he goes 2 for 5 from 3, and he makes 6 out of his 12 overall field goals, right? In another game, he's 7 for 8 from the free throw line. So he definitely has a shooting touch, right? If a guy is at 88% from the free throw line, he's 8 for 9 right now after 3 games. He shows you that he can be a capable shooter. Okay, now, whether he becomes one, that's a question for another day. I have loved watching Nikola Topić, and look, the stats, when you're looking at some of these, 11 for 37 from the field, 2 for 16 from 3, he's got those 5.6 turnovers per game. You gotta kind of put a little bit of shielding around those numbers, because yes, they're really bad and they're really inefficient, but watch him play. And you tell me, in a setting where there's more chemistry. He's got better teammates. The spacing is better. The schemes are smarter. You know, it's just you're under Coach Dagnall and not a summer league coach, and not like in this environment where everyone is trying to prove themselves. And, you know, let's face it, some players on the opposing team are also playing for their lives, right? So a lot of these guys are also playing extremely hard because they're playing for a contract. They're playing for their livelihood. A lot of these guys are. Some of these guys are old and they've been hanging on and they don't want to go back to the G League. Some of these guys don't want to go overseas. They're really trying to make the NBA, right? And some people are just trying to make the G League, right? There's guys here that they're on this tryout in summer league. So, you know, you're also in this like kill or be killed environment. And some people are able to just maneuver that and play well. And a lot of guys aren't, you know? And when they get into a more controlled environment where things are a little more organized, there's a better scouting report on the opposing team, and things are just, you know, higher chemistry levels and things like that, and you kind of know what you're going to be doing game to game, I think that just improves your overall play style and just like what you put out there production wise. Now, in terms of what the Thunder are going to expect from Nikola Topić, and this is what is very beneficial to him, going to a team that just won a championship and a team that's going to be contending next season again. They're obviously the favorite if you look at the odds. This is a team that does not need Topić to be great. Not now, not next year, maybe not even the year after that. If Topić can just be solid, OKC is in a good place. Because this is a guy that, even though, let's say he's not shooting well, right? Similar to what he's doing here, maybe not this bad. But, you know, if he's picking his spots, he's obviously not going to get this kind of volume, right? Or this kind of usage on OKC during the season. They may even, you know, have him just play in the G League, right? And just kind of develop there, get his legs built up, right? Just kind of work on the shooting, you know, kind of polish up a little more, be prepared for maybe the next season, right? And maybe they throw him out there. Who knows? You know, maybe they call him up once in a while. I don't know what the plan is for that. But I think when you're operating under this kind of spectrum, I guess you could say, like this area as a lottery pick where you're not expected to be great, or it's a bust, right? Like you're coming into a very well-oiled machine where not a lot is going to be expected of you in terms of you're going to be out there, you're going to play a ton of minutes, and if you don't look good, you're in trouble, right? Like this is going to be a guy, they can be patient with him. They don't need him to be amazing right away. And if you don't believe me, look at Ousmane Dieng. I mean, this was a guy they drafted as a project, right? And I think he was like the G League MVP or the runner-up, or maybe I'm confusing that with like G League scoring champ or whatever. He did something really great in the G League, and I forgot what that was, so don't attack me, all right? But Ousmane Dieng was a guy that they drafted knowing he was going to be a long-term project. Maybe he works out, maybe he doesn't. He's got the measurables, he's got some intangibles, you know, he's skilled, but obviously a big work in progress, and he has come a long way as a player. But OKC has been incredibly patient with him, and he still doesn't really crack a rotation, right? He's still on that bench. You still don't really see him too much. You see him in garbage time for the most part. So imagine a guy with Topic's potential, right? Because Ousmane Dieng, a lot of potential still with him, assuming he puts it together. He's still young, but a guy like Topić, you can give him the ball and let him run offense, right? That's not something Ousmane Dieng does. Ousmane Dieng is more of like, let me go get a bucket, you know? Maybe let me rebound, right? Like maybe attack a closeout, get to the rim and things like that. More of a scoring mentality versus Topić is kind of like, he reminds me of Josh Giddey in a way, for someone that makes sense on the Thunder. Like he really reminds me of Giddey, where the shooting is the weakness, but he's a big playmaking guy. He's 6'6". Giddey's obviously taller than him, but you know, big point guard, right? Big playmaker, sees the floor well, throws passes ahead, throws it in people's shooting pockets. Like he knows where the player's going and he's throwing it right in their hands. So, you know, very high ceiling in terms of the level of playmaker that Topić could become. So very exciting player. I hope I didn't spend too much time on this, but I just absolutely love every minute of OKC basketball in Summer League when the ball is in Topic's hands. It's just been a joy. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will catch you guys on the next one.